Are you all ready to get uncomfortable?
I'm already uncomfortable, so
Excellent. So, this next movie is a movie called Georgia Rule.
Nuh-uh. Ace is only low. Georgia rule. Right, Georgia?
My leg is numb.
Hey, no quitting.
Quitting? Do you hear me say quitting? Where is my granddaughter?
She bolted from the car.
How's she gonna find me?
Go!
She's only been here once in her life.
She's easy to find.
Hello?
Just listen for a scream.
Georgia has always made the rules.
Jesus, Georgia.
You do not take the Lord's name in vain.
Lily's always been burned by them.
He's an idiot. And I signed a prenuptial.
Go with this one.
And Rachel's always broken them.
Just how disturbed are you?
I prefer unique.
But for one summer,
You don't look evil.
Makeup helps.
they're all living under one roof and one rule.
We eat at 6. Georgia rule. Wash your dishes. Georgia rule. I got your job. One more rule. You live here, you work.
No wonder Mom hates you.
Now, background to this. Haley said this movie made her deeply uncomfortable, number one. And I remember when I was a teenager and it came out, I think I was working at the movie theater at the time. In fact, I'm pretty sure I was, because a friend of my mother's walked out of this movie and demanded her money back.
I'm out.
About halfway through. And just demanded, and I remember my mom being like, she wants to know if you can get her money back. I remember my mom asking me about that.
I don't.
I very specifically remember her friend.
When
I know which
when
friend it
we're-
is too.
When we're off stream, I want you to tell me because
I'm pretty sure I know which movie. I doubt my mom would remember, but yeah, I very much remember her saying that she walked out of this, and I couldn't. She didn't say why. She just said that this movie was awful, and Haley said this movie makes her uncomfortable. So, this movie, Lindsay Lohan is a party girl who has been essentially banished to live with her grandma before she goes off to college, because her mom just can't handle her, and she's a wild child from LA, and she's gone to live in like a Idaho, because it's the place where the potatoes come from. She goes to live in like Idaho, in like a small butt fuck nowhere town, and the movie, for the first, I'd say, half of it is fish out of water. She's from LA, they're Midwestern, they don't understand each other. There's a boy character. She keeps making passes at this older doctor slash veterinarian character, and she's got kind of a thing with a younger, kind of her age kind of character who lives in the town. The mom or the grandma is like,
how old is she supposed to be?
17.
Icky.
This is important. And the grandmother's a hyper religious, we're Bible believing, God fearing, Midwestern woman. We have dinner at this time. If you don't eat dinner at the time it's served, you don't eat till the next time the meal is served. Kind of person. And the first half of the movie is honestly not that bad. It's again a kind of sort of fish out of water story. There's always awkward moments between like the main guy she has a thing for is like a Mormon. So there's kind of some real fun awkward moments with her with the girls her age, and she keeps hitting on and flirting with and trying to get with this older male character, and you find out that the older male character's wife and child died, and he's not really ready to date or see anyone. He's still kind of getting over that, and at one point I can't remember what they're at some form of a celebration. The important part of it is they're in public, plain view of everybody. She says, for like, they're having some conversation about being a survivor or surviving or something, and she says, totally unprompted, totally unprovoked, for no real reason, she says, yeah, well, my stepdad started having sex with me when I was 12 years old.
Ooh. No.
And
No.
it just kind of makes the rest of the movie really uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
really uncomfortable. So, like, she goes to go.
I'm just gonna leave now. No.
I can't remember exactly what happened, but
Oh, God.
she goes to so she ends up going back to him, and he's like, yeah, I told your grandma. And she's like, why would you do that? I was clearly lying. I was making it up just to make a point. And he's like, well, no, that's like a
That's a very serious
fucking thing. I obviously told your grandma, who then tells the mom, and the mom then asks the stepdad, who is played by Cary Elwes, and his like, he's basically Dr. Gordon in this movie. He's doing the Dr. Gordon accent, American accent. He's Dr. Gordon, and she says to him, the mom immediately the mom, they have like a very antagonistic relationship. So the mom doesn't believe her, and like, you're a liar. And the whole thing, like, with Lindsay Lohan, is she's like a party girl who does drugs, and
So Lindsay Lohan.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she pretty much is Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, and she the stepdad like helped her out, and it's one of those scenarios. Oh, but he loves you, and he would never do that, and yada yada yada. And yeah,
Uncomfortable.
basically, so the mom goes back to the hometown or whatever with the grandma to essentially get the Lindsay Lohan to tell the truth. And Lindsay Lohan is like, I should have never said anything. And she's like, yeah. She's like, you're lying, right? You're lying. He's like, yeah, I lied about. And then she says a bunch of uncomfortable things I won't repeat. I lied about this, I lied about that, and I lied about that. And it's very, like, she's clearly not lying kind of deals. And so then the movie stops being about Lindsay Lohan randomly and starts being about the mom. And the mom, to be fair, is on the poster with the grandma, who's played by Jane Fonda, and Lindsay Lohan. So maybe she's famous. I didn't recognize her, but maybe she's famous. And then then the movie kind of becomes about her. It becomes about her, where she starts to spiral. Like, she's an alcoholic, and she starts to spiral, and she starts having all these troubles. And the Lindsay Lohan character, like, starts staying with the doctor character while they try to get her through this, like, self-destructive behavior and get her back on the wagon. And there's all these weird, like, there's a joke where she's like, it's played for laughs, but because of the age that the stepdad is being accused of sleeping with Lindsay Lohan, it doesn't work. But there's a joke where,
I mean, any age would not be okay.
no, no, you're right, it wouldn't be okay, but it would be less uncomfortable. Like, there's a way you could fix this and still have it functionally work. I'm gonna get to it. But so there's a scene where she's like picking out knives to stab him with, and the mom, I should say, is picking out knives to be like, oh, I'm gonna get him. And then Jane Fonda is like, oh, here, you should use this knife, it's better. And it's played for laughs, but it's made weird by the fact that how old Lindsay Lohan is. So the joke doesn't work. It's weird. And you could do this where it's like, okay, her having a relationship with the stepdad could, and it being a point of contention between them, could be a thing if she was 18.
No.
It's no, okay. You make her 18, so it's still weird, right? Don't get me wrong, it's still weird. Or you make her 18, 19, that age. So then where it starts. So it's like, yeah, it's a quote unquote adult relationship that is still not technically an adult relationship. But then you can have it where he's grooming her when she's a teenager, but like then at that way it like those lighthearted attempts at lighthearted moments are less weird, because yeah, like there's but it's because,
yes and no. I mean, at that point, she's still, when we're talking about this, at that point, Lindsay Lohan is culpable. She made the decision and the choice. The mom would have to also be angry at her.
Right, but also if it's a thing of like he's been going after her since she was a kid, it's still the fundamental, like, he took advantage of her nature of the story. It doesn't require that character to be a minor. Just how it's played out in that movie, is not required. You can make it where he's still
fair.
going after her, and they don't actually have to do anything until she's a legal adult. Like,
so
no, but because the point,
icky.
no, but that's the point.
This movie is icky.
The point of the movie is it's meant to be icky, right? But
I know, but it's still icky.
But what I'm saying is it could be icky in a way that doesn't add a tone of weirdness.
That's less icky.
That's less icky. Yes, and still get the point across. She is trying to get with this older guy, and eventually she full on tries to seduce him, and he's like, no. She's like, but I love you. No, you don't know how to love. Like, you don't know how to. You've only ever experienced this in a way that's negative. You don't, and that's kind of the point they're going for. That's why. But like, yeah, it ends really weirdly. Like, so Lindsay Lohan inevitably, like, when seeing how negatively it is affecting her mother, decides to be like, I lied about this whole thing. I made it up to get attention. I was pissed that you sent me here, and I just wanted attention. And so Lindsay Lohan goes to Carrie Elwes and is like, I'm going to say that you didn't do this. I'm going to take it all back. But you have to, because my mom clearly is in love with you, you have to treat her nicely and give her a shit ton of money, basically. And if you don't, because she says that basically it started when she was 12, and then it stopped when she was 14 because a friend of hers threatened Carrie Elwes with a gun and threatened to shoot him. And it started again recently.
Movie sounds fucked.
Because she wanted something from him, like money or some sort. She wanted something from him. And so it has started again. And she says, yeah, if you don't treat my mother nicely, and he's like, oh, I'll give you, because he's got a brand new car that he's bought. He's like, oh, if you keep quiet, I'll give you the car, basically. And yeah, she's like, yeah, so if you don't do this for me, I have video, basically, and I'm gonna send it to everybody. And so the mom, she takes it all back, and the mom is gonna go with her to back to LA or whatever. And the Jane Fonda is like, no, you can't do this. He's awful. I know he did this thing. And she's like lying. Lindsay Lohan is lying about lying. And the big final climax of the movie is they're driving, and he's like, oh, she's like, oh, she's like, oh, you're gonna send for the car. He's like, no, I'm just gonna give it to Lindsay Lohan. And she's like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna give it to her to keep her quiet. And then she's like, holy shit, like, no, you did this. And like, he kicks her out of the car, like, you were nothing before me, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, I did this, and she liked it, and it's really gross.
Oh.
And then he takes off, and he's like, you're gonna go to jail, you disgusting man. And then that's where the movie ends. They do a big hug, they cry in each other's arms, and it's meant to be really dramatic, but it's really weird, it's really awkward. There's a scene early in the movie where Lindsay Lohan, I don't know how else to describe it other than she sexually assaults a guy. Because, okay, so remember how I mentioned the love interest who's her own age? There's a point where she is fishing with him, and he is Mormon, and he reveals he has done nothing with a woman. And she's like, what? You've done nothing with a woman? And she goes to take off his pants and does the thing you can do that gets about as close. I don't want to get shadow banned again. Gets as close as you can to doing it without actually doing it.
Yeah.
She does that to him, and he's like, he's basically like trying to push her away. He's like, no, and then he feels like horribly guilty about it, and she convinces him to like lie to the girl. And that scene is again played for laughs, but has this once you're like, yeah, man, she's been doing, violated in that way. Once you find that out, it no longer is funny because you're like, yeah, because she doesn't understand what this is. She doesn't have the tools to deal with this, and maybe she shouldn't be doing this. And yeah, it taints the whole back half of the movie. There's all these scenes that are supposed to be funny that aren't funny, and
that are tragic.
Fully understand why Mom's friend walked out of this, and why I knew what happened. I knew how this movie played out, because everyone always talks about how weird and uncomfortable this movie is, and I knew what happened. I knew what Carrie Elwes did, but it's so weirdly presented in this movie. It does, it's when you're like, oh, it's just Lindsay Lohan. So this is one of two. I'm gonna finish this with this. Trajectory of every child star. They do that movie where they want to be taken seriously as an adult. You know how they all do that? They all do that movie?
Yes.
Yeah. This is one of two that came out.
You said that as a statement. It was not a question. Yes, I do. Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
This was one of two of those that Lindsay Lohan did. There is another one. We're going to talk about it. And it came out the same year as this did. And yeah, this obviously, I think it bombed and it got trashed critically because everyone was like, it's got a weird tone problem, because it does have a weird tone problem. Lindsay Lohan is the best thing in this. The thing is, quite often, she's the best thing in an otherwise crap project. Like, she is honestly the best thing in this, but she acts very good, and like, I don't think any of the performances in this are at fault. I truly think it's a writing thing, and I think if the point is he's a predator and that's what it's supposed to be about, you could do that without the weird detail that it was when she was 12. Like, that just was bridge too far. I don't like that kind of violence at the best of times.
Yeah.
But that was the bridge too far. Where I'm like, hey, you could a rewrite on this could have maybe made this less weird. Also, apparently Lindsay Lohan was I think this is the one where she's doing drugs at this point, so she's crazy rail thin, and like she was I think she was on. I'm pretty sure this was when she was on drugs. So like a lot of the backstory of this is like she was late to set and a difficult person to work with, and this was when she was like sort of at her most controversial as a figure. This is kind of at that. This was 2007, I believe.
Got it.
Also,
do you have any final thoughts on this uncomfortable movie?
It's probably I'll let you decide if here's going to be my question going forward for the have not seens. I think, it's going to be up to you to decide which next of, including this one, these next 3 movies are the most uncomfortable. I will ask you again at the end.
So far, this one takes the cake.
That's fair. That's it for Georgia Rules. Hey there, everybody. It's NCAR Justin here. Let me know down in the comments, have you seen Georgia Rule? Did it make you as uncomfortable as it made me? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But in the meantime, if you would like to see the full podcast that this video is from, you can click the box on the left, and that's going to take you to Lohan versus Stone. Stone versus Lohan, our pick an actress too. Or you can click the box on the right, and that's going to take you to a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week, or you can just leave us a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video.